And we are live tonight from Eternum, back with the New World Report. I am joined by my co-host, Lamani. Lamani, how you doing, brother?
I am good. How are you?
We are good. We are good. We are a couple weeks out from mutators hitting, and lots to talk about this week on the New World Report.
Mhm.
If you guys don't know the drill, there are 3 topics on my channel, 3 topics on Lamani's channel. We're doing it in reverse order this week, so I get the first 3 topics. So make sure you get over to Lamani's channel, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and the same thing for over here. Guys, everyone, are you ready for the New World Report?
I'm ready. Just so you know.
By everyone, I mean Lamani. So, all right, brother, we got the PTR patch notes for February. Lots of great things to talk about here. I already made a video on this, and I will sort of circle back around on my opinions on this. But major changes that you're seeing that you like, and hopefully they make it to the live game. Give me one, and we'll go back and forth
All
like we
right.
normally do.
I know this is one you're gonna like, but just in general, the outpost rush stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some really good outpost rush things coming. I think if you're a PvP player, I know I kept saying like in the past, when we hit February, we're gonna be in a little bit of a dry spell, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I think having these kinds of changes are really gonna add some oomph, add some emphasis to other pieces of the game that aren't getting as much love like PvP right now.
Yep.
Like if you're looking as far as if you're a leaderboard climber, like how they're doing, leaderboard scoring, and you want to be number one as a damage dealer, or how they're doing umbral shards. I think that is the biggest thing where you're getting
Yeah.
50 to 100 depending if you're winning. I think there's going to be a really big strat of like when you're first gearing, start spamming OPR until you're like 615, 610, just because it's going
Yeah.
to be easy to get those shards and then you're not wasting orbs. But I do like what they're doing with OPR, and I think for a PvP aspect, this is definitely something to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about OPR
Oh,
stuff?
so the OPR is the big win for me as well. So we've also got Umbral Charge. You mentioned the 100 for a win, 50 for a loss. Also expertise gear bumps.
Yep.
They said that
Yep.
they're going to tune that
That's
up big time.
I forgot about that one. That's a
Yeah.
big one too.
And
That's a big
overall,
one.
one thing we forgot to mention was the PvP gear. You called this in a New World Report like
Mhm.
2 or 3 weeks ago,
I did.
and here it is, PvP gear. And they're actually tweaking the perks on the gear, so you're not getting things like Ancient War that you wouldn't even use in OPR. So that's all exciting stuff, man. That
Yeah.
is my number
Yeah.
one as well, OPR. Let me give you one that I think is going to be a massive impact on wars. You
Hit me.
see the video of the nerf on the PTR to the Great Axe with Gravity Well specifically.
Yes. Okay, so I've heard about this, and I've heard two sides of the story. Some people are actually super excited and think it's kind of a buff. Now, tell me, look, how do you feel about
Well, so
Gravity Well?
so I think Gravity Well is pretty OP. I think Gravity
Yes.
Well is one of the most OP. There's whole strats around Gravity Well, uh,
Mhm.
in for wars. The video
Yes.
I saw is literally a guy stepping through 3 gravity wells like it's nothing. So
Mhm.
that was the video I saw, and that was like, ooh, that's going to be a tough sell for those guys that love
Yes.
Great Axe. What have you been hearing?
So again, I believe what is the exact like nerf to it? Because I've heard somebody saying that what's going to happen is it pulls you to the center now of the gravity well when it
And
explodes.
then you can
Is that
step,
true?
but you can step
Or you
out
can
of it.
step out,
Yeah,
right? So there's like it is a pretty hard nerf, I think, in my opinion, because right now it is such a CC lock. But what I will say is it is kind of a weird sleeper pseudo buff, kind of, if you want to make that argument for PvP and making clumps.
yeah,
Think about if you're bringing just if you're throwing grav wells in, I think one, it's going to be harder to recognize if you're in the grav well if you're not actually not moving and you're like, oh, I'm probably fine. And then you throw down 100 grav wells and somehow you're all getting pulled into the center.
yeah.
But I see it in the lens of this is definitely a nerf. And I think it's interesting and it's really going to start to shift the meta because right now it is just get your grav wells out
Yep.
or, use your
Chain
grav well
grab
for this
wells,
or
and
use your
even
grav.
even
Yep.
like chain grab wells. I wonder how AI is going to respond to that
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
mutators.
And
Oh,
even like in invasions, I mean, like how many times is just like people
yeah,
throw a grav well
a
somewhere
Spriggan.
just to
Yeah, yep,
stop? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I think it's going to be. I think the gravel nerf is going to be really good for meta changes because I think it's going to open up the window for some new things. People looking for some new options, maybe get people more creative, and we'll see where it takes us. I know I'm going to be looking and just seeing, okay, what's going to be the next big thing. Do I think it's going to completely change like the meta of we have lots of ice gauntlets, void gauntlets, or you're running hammer axe? I
Mm,
think some people might consider dropping it, but I think it's still if you're running an axe, you're running a hammer. If you're running a hammer, you're running an axe. I think it just makes more sense. But I think as far as gravel nerfs, I think it was needed. But will it completely, shift the meta? I don't think so.
Okay. Very good stuff there. Let's do one more quick one each. I'll do. Is it my turn or your turn?
You know what? It's your turn all the time.
I like the gypsum bumps. There's no more cooldown on Obsidian, or there's a 5-minute cooldown on Obsidian, like a 30-second cooldown on the portal one, which is what is that, amethyst or the topaz? No, topaz is the orange one.
Topaz, amethyst ones, amethyst ones.
And then there's like there's a shorter cooldown on the there's no cooldown, I believe now, on topaz. So that's, I mean, if you're Lamani, you're gonna be so proud of me. I've been playing the game totally differently since mutators.
I'm so happy.
I am doing gear score runs every day now. I do solo test runs. I do the world tour. There's usually like a world tour that starts on El Dorado, and I'm doing that. And I've seen it's big. It's big. In fact,
it's tons of gear score. You get tons of gear score out of it.
Yeah, I got B-roll footage of me doing one right here. So yeah, you'd be very proud of me. I'm catching up to Lamani on gear score.
I made a video on gear score, and I gave everybody the most efficient way, and it is literally just smashing your face into dungeons over and over and over and over again. Oh yeah. But running that world tour every day is a huge thing for getting jewelry, getting your accessories. You get so much jewelry. And if you want, you can always do mutators, but nobody's at the point who's trying to gear up to do mutators and get the countless drops of earrings and rings and necks and stuff that's in there. But it's a power play.
Last point. Hold on. Last point on gear score run is if you guys are on a smaller server, server transfer is going to be opening up probably next week again.
Yeah, they should be sometime soon.
Use your token, get to a more populated server if you're having trouble with your 100%. Gear score. Because you can get in these world tour where they hit, it's just a line of people, and all they're doing is just bouncing around to the different, Mangled Heights, Palace, Scorched
They make
Mines.
A giant chain. This is where we're going. They plot it all out. But it's also too, if you're on a lower pop server and there's really not that many expedition runs going on, any expedition you're looking to get into, there's always people doing stuff like on Eden, or I'm sure on El Dorado as well.
Yep.
It's always there. I know I've had plenty of people. There were people who commented on my video when I was talking about how to get your gear score up. It's like, I don't have people, right? How am I supposed to do this? You're gonna need to use your server transfer tokens. Yep. I know this is kind of going off on a weird tangent, but I would not be surprised, if they start kind of crunching down servers a little bit, and we start maybe seeing some more like mega server-y things in the future. I'm not going to be shocked if we end up with 1 to 2 east, 1 to 2 west, or something like that. But I think everybody knows the player base is at a point where we can start to kind of narrow those things down a little bit.
Yep. Last one for PTR notes. Did you go?
It was what we were talking about before we started. I think animation canceling and dodging. Okay, so right now there is some weird stuff. It does not feel great on the PTR if you've tried it. There's two things that don't feel great. Right now, the way they did it is they got rid of the animation cancel that you can do on a dodge. So right now I'm always hitting my shift key and then X, and I'm going like this, making a little claw every single time. It's just habitual because I can animation cancel the end and just do continuous dodges. There was a time I was in a +6 and I got killed by something on the last boss of Genesis. And I animation canceled 3 dodges in a row so that I could save myself and get behind a boulder, right? So it's like stuff like that where if that wasn't in the game, I'd be dead there. So I think it adds a cool skill gap when you're able to do those kinds of things, and I don't think it's really harmful to the gameplay. I think it just if you can do this thing, good for you. Yep. If you can't, well, let's work on it. It gives you a point of improvement. Yeah. But I think on the PTR, what also doesn't feel good is that light rolls are all continuous, but you kind of feel like you're sliding around on ice, and it's a little weird. But I think they just need to normalize it. I think personally, I don't really see anything wrong with the way dodges are working on live.
I didn't feel so
I
either.
I would say honestly, just revert it, leave it as it is. That's my last thing.
I agree. I felt like when I saw the updates around dodge, I was like, really? Let's just fix weapon swap bug and
that's a really exciting one too that they're working on. I will say.
All right. We're going to keep it moving here, guys. We're trying to get the time down these just a little bit. So me and Lamani could talk all night. Let's go store update. So I've got the store pulled up right here. It looks like the store saw a bunch of new updates for January. And we're obviously in February. This was dropped at the end of January, guys. Lots of Ebon Scale Reach inspired stuff. You got armor skins. the Jadeite, Dragon, Assassin, Stormbound. I ended up buying the Stormbound skin. It
Did
looks
you?
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool. That I will say, I think the skins they put out most recently, the one with the cape,
Oh
the
yeah,
one
yep,
we were just talking about, I think this is their best set of skins they've rolled out yet.
yeah. They've
I
done a
think
good job with this.
I think they definitely are putting themselves in the right direction as far as skins go. I will say in the past, my I haven't been a huge fan of the skins. Like, I
Yeah,
think one of my personal favorites is the winter one with the big hat that's like a T kind of thing.
with the
I don't know who's
ornaments
gonna
on
buy.
it.
I don't know who's gonna buy that skin. I don't know who is going to get that skin. I thought about getting it as a troll, but I think the skins right now, the ones they put out, this is a really good step in the right
A
direction for
ton
me.
of
I haven't bought a
emotes.
skin yet.
Yeah, a ton
Yeah,
of emotes. Lots of housing decor as well. Looks like a toolkit bundle. This new
mhm.
musket's pretty cool with the big was it like a dog or a dragon on the end of
Yeah.
it?
They have this. I'm telling you, it was top notch stuff. I need to look. I need to start looking at skins. I've been getting my Twitch Prime stuff.
Okay, then that was the other thing.
You get yeah, you get the Twitch Prime one. Absolutely love. I love the way my character looks right now.
Okay, so
It's fantastic.
you're running with that Twitch Prime one right now. It's the
I'm
sorcerer. What's it
I'm a
called?
little bit of I'm a little bit of a fashionista, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't want to look like anybody else. But like what I do is I try to flip together as many sets as I possibly can that
Yeah,
are different, still make it look good. So like I have like a gold void bent chest piece on with like the hood on, and then I have like the golden rage gloves, pants, and boots on from like the beta drops. It looks pretty spicy. But
nice, dude. Well, yeah.
yeah,
Make sure you
yeah.
guys are getting those Twitch Prime drops. I mean, they're free. You just log
Yes.
in. This one even had Marks of Fortune in it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
All of them have. All of them have.
really?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
why I was gonna say to you, I have 15,000 coins just sitting there and I've never bought anything.
Yeah, I will say some of the weapons are lacking skins because I got a
Yes.
hammer. Hammer skins
Yes.
are rough and they are not
Yeah.
good.
There's
Um,
cool life step ones. There's some cool life step
yeah,
ones.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. There's a really cool musket one that came out like a couple weeks ago or
Yeah.
months ago, I should say. I don't know. They've done some good stuff. So
Yes.
yeah.
I think future of store updates, I think we'll see even better stuff coming.
All right, let's continue it rolling here. We are at what are we at here? 12 minutes. All right, let's talk about the future of New
Hit it.
World. With Dying Light 2 releasing this week, a lot of the content creators have shifted over to covering other games. We have Lost Ark coming out tomorrow in pre-release. And that game's been in development for like what feels like eight or
Forever.
9 years. Yeah, for
Yeah.
forever.
It's been out for a while.
I think
It's
we both talked and we both said
Mhm.
like, we're going to give Lost Ark a shot because our communities are sort of pushing us to do that. And it's not super exciting right now with New World because we're sort of just waiting for the patch and things like that.
Yep.
What does New World have to do to sort of get things going back in the right direction? Now, I have an opinion on this, but I want to hear your opinion first.
I think as far as I think with the February PTR that we saw, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think everything that they're changing are things we've been asking for: weapon swapping, not the dodging and blocking, but the PvP stuff. We're getting some balance changes.
Mhm.
We're getting, they're starting to do the things and fixing the actual core mechanics of gameplay so that they can build and create new content so that the core mechanics are working in the new content. Right.
Yes.
And I think that's what's absolutely fundamental. Yes, we're going to be in a content dry spell, but at least gameplay wise, we're seeing some changes. And I think that's really, really big. So as far as, trying to actually improve upon that and keep building off of that, I think what we need in the future is honestly just content. I know
Yeah.
that sounds a little bland, but give us a new region, give us some new expeditions. We haven't
Yeah.
seen any new expeditions yet. Game's been out for a while. I mean, and I think still, even with what they're doing, they're pushing out content relatively aggressively compared to other MMORPGs out there,
I
and they're
feel like it's
willing to
pretty good.
change
Yeah.
big features, right? I think my biggest thing that stands out with the New World devs that I will always applaud them for is, they take a lot of flack, but they are willing to take pretty large mechanics in the game and change them up,
Yeah.
right? And be like, all right, you know what? We did some case in point is like expertise system, right? And
Yeah.
that's still like the best version it could be. No, not necessarily, but they're willing to work with it and understand that player feedback is really important. And so I think that is the big thing that they can do is listen to player feedback, keep putting out your new content, but I think give us more time to test that content that allows you to get all the bugs worked out.
Yep.
Like the amount of bugs we've seen with mutator releases are, that a little frustrating.
We're gonna get on one of those topics in your video here in just a second.
Yeah.
I will say that I feel like in order for them to sort of get things back on a good track, I'd almost rather see them kind of go not necessarily dark, but more sparse with the updates and really plan a release cycle toward like an expansion pack. Because I feel like that's one thing World of Warcraft does really well is a lot of people, it kind of just, fades off and it tapers off a little bit and they go develop this expansion pack and they come out, you charge $10 for it or whatever it is, right? And you have all this just people coming back into the game to check out the new content, whether that's a new zone, new expedition, things like that. It doesn't have to be game breaking, but I would do like a soft relaunch of the game, maybe like around November, December, like a year later.
That's a really good idea.
Because I think with these like small trickling updates, I don't know if you're going to recapture, the attention of other players with all these new games coming out.
I think where we really, and you are 100% right. I really didn't ever think about something like that, but I think the MMORPG design has always been, all right, you look at successful MMORPGs, you have Final Fantasy, you have Elder Scrolls, you have WoW, are the top three I think of. Each of them has expansion packs, right? They do, you obviously can't make that your only content, but give us like, every year or something. And maybe this is what they're planning to do. And these are like their small content updates. And maybe they're going to give us something pretty large. But everybody, WoW always spreads it out over like 3 updates. They have like 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, whatever.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're going to hit 10.0, right? But then they'll do in between, they'll have 9.1.5, 9.2.5, and like that's generally like a PvP patch. But I think give us those content patches, but really do start putting your development team on these big
give them names. Give them names. Like, make them a big deal about it. Because, just like saying January patch, this has nothing to it. Someone who's checked out of the game.
And like, I think the last time we got a player base boost was probably around the time Void Gauntlet came back. Was like, people are like, all right, let's do this. This is neat.
And it bumped the player base. It did.
And I know we're saying this like expansion packs, and typically you won't see an expansion for like the first year and a half, maybe 2 years of a game. And I mean, in reality, when it launched like September, right?
End of September, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the game has only been live like, what is that?
5 months.
4 or 5 months. 5 months. So like, I think in the future, like this is what they need to do. They need to give us some kind of big content patch that's going to be like, hey, you haven't been playing for a while. Come check this out. Give it a shot. Try it out. We've added in new gameplay mechanics, new content, boost the leveling by 5 or whatever you want to do. But I think you were 100% right. They need every game that is successful in the MMORPG genre has soft relaunches in expansions.
Yep.
And I think that'll be big.
Let's get it. All right, guys. We'll be right back over on Lamani's channel. Get over there to get the rest of the video. Lamani, any shout outs to the hall before we get up on out of here?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
I think, actually, I got one. Dan, you need better internet. All right, that's all.
Dan, get that internet fixed.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you over on Lamani's channel. Peace.
Peace.